So there's several different paths to Cambodian citizenship. The first and most obvious way is being born here. If you're born here and you move somewhere else, there's a very high likelihood that you have some sort of documentation, either certificate of naturalization, a green card, or a passport that says you're born in Cambodia. If that's the case, it's really easy. Just go to your local Cambodian Identification office here in Phnom Penh and take care of the paperwork. That's all there is to it. Now there's several more difficult ways of acquiring your citizenship. Through marriage, through investing a large sum of money, and through naturalization. Those are going to take you a lot more time and effort, and it's not the scope of this video, so let's keep moving. And now the last method and the focus of this video is citizenship by birthright. If at least one of your parents is a Cambodian citizen, then you are eligible to be a Cambodian citizen. Now to verify this, I actually called the Cambodian embassy in the US. This is what they had to say.
If you're born from Cambodian parents, you automatically Cambodian citizenship, okay?
Not bad.
So one thing that you do is just to register your paperwork.
So more or less I was right. If your parents are born in Cambodia, you're eligible to be a citizen. You just have to file the paperwork. But I have a little problem. You see, on my passport it says I was born in Thailand. And that's true, I was actually born in Thailand. So he suggested that I take my parents with to the district that they were born in, and they would be able to help me out. But the problem is, my parents can't come with. They gotta stay here and run the nail salon. There's gotta be another way. So there's actually only two different documents that you need to prove that you're a Cambodian citizen by birthright. You need either a birth certificate, a passport, or your certificate of naturalization, and a family book. I spoke to a couple different people, and they told me that as long as you have relatives that currently live in Cambodia, you can be put into their family book and then receive a birth certificate from the local district stating that you were born in Cambodia, technically. You see, I actually have an uncle that lives in Battambang, and my mom spoke to him, and turns out he has a friend that is actually a May Poom that's able to do everything for me. So today I'm headed to Battambang, and hopefully we can get this all worked out. So you're probably wondering why I want to do this. Well, the biggest and most important reason, the reason that you're probably most interested in, is as a citizen, you can own land in Cambodia. If you aren't a citizen, you can't. You can buy a second floor condo, but you can't own the land that the property sits on. The second reason is it's just easier to do business in Cambodia as a citizen. I don't really know all the details, but that's what I was told. It's not my main purpose, but it's a nice bonus. Reason number 3 is getting my Cambodian passport. That means I have visa-free access to several Southeast Asian countries, and as a world traveler, it's just kind of cool to have multiple passports. So the final and most important reason for me is ever since I came to Cambodia that first time about 8 years ago, I've been trying to reconnect with my Cambodian roots. And getting my Cambodian citizenship sort of makes that more official, more real. And if you're kind of in the same boat, maybe you're a first-generation Cambodian and you immigrated to the US around the same time I did, or maybe you were born in the US, make sure you watch the entire video, because at the end I'm gonna recap and tell you everything I learned and give you a couple tips. But anyway, I'm gonna be going to Battambang in about an hour, and I'm out for my morning jog, so I gotta run home real quick, shower up, and eat some breakfast. Let's go. Locals are up early today. Oh, it looks like a chicken truck. No, look at the ducks. It's a duck farm. Whoa, look at that. Welcome to Phnom. It's a little village located on the outskirts of Battambang, and my uncle has been living here for the past 8 or 9 years. Bamboo. Oh, you got the bamboo? Yeah. It's my Uncle Chia.
Hello.
Uncle Chia, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. We're gonna have a call Truk tonight with the Piang. And this gentleman here is the May Poom. I don't know his name, I just call him Om. He's gonna help me get my Sabat Kamnat, which is the birth certificate, and also my Suppose Not No, or Suppose Grosa, which is the residency book. At this point, I have no idea how he's gonna get me a birth certificate because I'm born in Thailand, but he seemed confident that he could do it, so I'm just rolling with it. Shortly after my meeting with the May Poom, we roll up to the district office, which is literally right across the street from where my uncle lives, and we begin the paperwork. So after about 20 minutes of back and forth with the lady behind the desk, we were told that we need to come back later. She doesn't have the authority because of my passport situation. You know how it says I was born in Thailand. She just didn't want to mess with that. So we hit our first obstacle. We were expecting the May Poom to be there, but it was like his secretary, and she was not interested in doing anything that might be a little bit, I don't know. She just was not. She was afraid to go over his head. So that's okay. Apparently he's gonna be there tomorrow, and we're gonna meet with him again.
ឲ្យតែខ្មែរណាបាទឲ្យតែខ្មែរកុំតែយួនចាមចិនគេធ្វើឲ្យខ្មែរគេធ្វើឲ្យទាំងអស់ណាធ្វើទាំងពូគូសាទៅកូនបារាំងក៏ធ្វើបានបាទអាបារាំងម៉ែវាខ្មែរហ្នឹងហើយបាទអត់ធ្វើឲ្យតែអូវាមួយហ្នឹងម៉ែអូខ្មែរអស់បាទខ្មែរគេធ្វើឲ្យបែរអ្នកធ្វើវាអត់នៅមិនគុំទៅជុំអស់ហើយនៅនេះ
So in order to save myself some typing of the translations, I'm just gonna give a rough translation by voiceover. He's just ranting about how they've done this before for a French family that came here. I guess the kid got his birth certificate because the mom was born in Sokchea. They just won't do it for Vietnamese, Cham, Thai people, of all people. And as long as you're Khmer, they would do it. Doesn't matter where you're born in. Doesn't matter at all. Okay, we're back at the office. Last night they called us and said that we should be good to go, so they'll do it for us. So we're back here in the morning, early. Hopefully no issues this time. So initially there was some back and forth about where my actual birthplace on the certificate should be, and I'm not exactly sure what they were saying because they were speaking so fast, but they asked me a couple questions. Where my parents were born, they asked to see my parents' passports, so we had them take a picture of it and send it to us, and ask us birth dates of my parents, and a couple other questions, nothing too complex. My uncle and the May Poom sort of spoke in my behalf, but it really would help if you could maybe speak a little bit more Khmer than I can. But I was lucky that I had the May Poom to help me and my uncle. All right, thumbs up. Tomorrow they're gonna sign it, and then I should have my birth certificate for here, right?
Yeah, tomorrow. Or maybe if the kind of busy might able get today.
Might be today. Okay.
More likely tomorrow.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to translate over voiceover if you don't understand what they're saying, but basically I got my birth certificate. He says all we need to do now is a supposed not know or the family book. Actually, it's called the residency book, and then he had just spoken to the person that does the Cambodian identifications, and he told them that, or he asked them how much it would cost, and they gave a figure of, I think it was $120. So he brought it for us. I am officially, or now official. I'm born in Cambodia.
We're supposed to do the family book today, but we weren't here.
Oh.
If we weren't left, we would have done it then.
Okay.
So now we do tomorrow.
Okay.
So we just sang con sẽ cầm oi mới.អ្នក10ឡាដល់20ឡាណាតាមតែមានខាង10រៀលខាងខាងពលី10រៀលស្មើគ្នាខ្ញុំសួរជុំគេដែររឿងម៉េចទេសួរប្រថាហើយខាងនោះឲ្យលុយនៅថានៅឲ្យអត់ឲ្យលុយនៅឲ្យទេប៉ុន្តែឲ្យហើយសិនចាំមានឲ្យក្រោយអញ្ចឹងទៅឲ្យគេមិនមែនខ្ញុំអត់ទេយើងបាច់បើសិនតែយើងទៅយើងខ្ញុំទៅទៅទៀតទៅសងការដើម្បីទៅជួបអាគេនេះនៅនោះយើងគេឲ្យលុយយើងមកមិញហើយសងការគេប្រាប់យើងថាមកជួយស្រុកក៏យួរ120ដូចគ្នាដែរមួយនេះចឹងឲ្យហើយរៀលទាំងអស់គ្នាទាំងខាងឡាខុំនោះ80,000
Okay, so what's happening here is we're deciding what to give the people that processed my birth certificate paperwork, which is actually free. There's no charge to do a birth certificate, but it's customary to to tip them. And here we're tipping them $20, and they would split it amongst, I think 3 or 4 people. Now I just need to get my Cambodian ID and my family book. And good. So the next day we're back at the district office to do my supposed not know or the residency book. But for some reason, we didn't do one for me. I'm not exactly sure why, but we added my name to my uncle's. I guess maybe it was just easier. So at this point, on paper, I'm living in Phnom with my uncle. All right, so we just added my name to my uncle's family book, but we need to get authorization. So in order to do that, we have to go to the police station, which is right around the corner from the district office. It's in the same area. So I don't know why. It just doesn't make any sense to me, but that's how it works here. Worst comes to worst.
Yeah,
we have to go to Penh.
Should be okay. I had a friend that
All right.
but
So
this guy is kind of new.
Yeah, there's a young officer in there. He's a young one, and he's afraid to do anything. There was a heated exchange.
The thing is, it's not that because sometimes they want money. They just want to hold you, and like you think about it. Oh, maybe what if I push you a little bit more? But you can do it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I go. Yeah.
Anyway, he's gonna go talk to his chief and make sure it's okay. But it's just interesting, the exchange. So we're not quite done yet. Hopefully it's okay. If not, then I don't know. Guess now it's just a waiting game. My uncle was saying how this is what they do. They just will say no, or they'll be reluctant to do whatever it is they're supposed to do, and say, oh, they got to talk to someone higher up. That guy was, he was a younger guy, so they were asking why I want a why do I want citizenship here in Cambodia when I'm already a citizen of the U.S. And I explained to them why. I want to buy some land, or I want to be able to purchase land and maybe do business here, things like that. And and then I also mentioned that I wanted a passport, a Cambodian passport, because it's easier to travel in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos. Those are all countries that Cambodian citizens can travel to with a Cambodian passport without a visa. And they were like, well, you can't have 2 passports. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, you can. Anyway, the waiting game. Hopefully we don't have any issues. I don't think we will, but we'll just see when the chief, when he gets a hold of the chief, and hopefully he'll give us a call. Round 2. So after the big boss signed off on the supposed not no, I went into the other office and got fingerprinted, but I guess I'm now officially a resident of Phnom Penh. Yeah, that was interesting. We went in, the chief, who was a really stern-looking man, no emotion at all, scanned over my documents, asked me a few questions, and wrote my name into Uncle Chia's family book, and they gave us the authorization. So now we got to go to Ban Bong and get my picture taken. Okay, so we are now at the Khmer Identification office in Ban Bong. First step is you go into and meet with the first officer, this guy here, and he looks over your birth certificate or your Sabat Kamnat, and also your residency book. Make sure everything's correct. There was an issue. There was a problem with my Sabat Kamnat. There was a phone call made back to the office in Phnom Penh, and this gentleman was kind enough to fix it for us. But he did ask for a little bit of coffee money. And then we go to the next office where I actually fill out the application for a Tat Nyen Ban, the Cambodian Identification. Yeah, they did all sorts of stuff there. It was pretty intense.
Fingerprint.
Yeah, fingerprinted. They fingerprint you with ink and then fingerprint you into the machine. And filled out a bunch of different paperwork using the family book and the birth certificate. But yeah, it's all submitted. They did say that they can still deny it, but I don't know what are the chances of that.
More likely not.
Yeah, more likely than not. What we did was kind of like the expedited route, so you have to pay $120. That's what the cost is now to have it sent directly. You can go to a local commune and it costs cheaper, but your mother-in-law is currently still waiting for
4 months already.
yeah, 4 months already. So it's worth it to just pay the money and go directly to the administrative office. I don't even know what that is. It's like the police station.
Oh, yeah,
it's like it's like the police headquarters, Department of Identity card, and they said that it should be ready sometime next week.
Yeah.
So there it is. Just have to sit and wait. Okay, it's Monday now, and I'm currently in Siem Reap. We just got a call this morning from the identification office, and apparently there's some issue with my passport. There's also some discrepancy with my mom's last name, because on my Cambodian birth certificate that they made for me in Phnom Penh, we put, or they asked me for my mom's maiden name, which is different, which is Kang. And I think on my passport it must say my mom's married name. So I don't know. But anyway, they were calling to see if we can send them a copy of my passport, which they've done already. They've taken a picture of it, they made copies of it, so I'm not sure why they're asking us this morning to send us another copy of it. But the guys at the people at the identification office were just being, I don't know, it's confusing. I don't know exactly what's happening, but my uncle Sokchea is going back to Phnom Penh today to try and hopefully clear things up. But yeah, at this point, all I can do is wait. I have no idea if it's going to go through or not. So
No, I'm talking so I'm chưa mà riêng cái bất cầm na đó chẳng phải cái sao mày.
So 2 days later, I'm back in Battambang, and we are trying to bargain with the district office at Phnom Penh to have them change my mom's last name back to her maiden name.
Mình chơi nữa cái ta mình du vinh. Cái ta nâng thế, mua xong bắt hai nữa nghe.
And then at this point, my uncle's wife, La, actually stepped in to sort of help rectify the situation, because it just seemed like they were stonewalling us. I'm not sure why, but they took our money, and it just sounds like they don't want to do it. They don't want to mess with my application because, quite frankly, because I was born in Thailand, and they think I'm Thai or something like that. I have no idea. There was a lot of questions about this last name of my mom's. We were trying to get them to change it. We were trying to get them to redo it. I don't know, just very confusing at this point. And we're back at the office here in Phnom Penh, and they won't change my mom's last name for some reason. Not sure why. Trying to figure out what now.
Ta chơi nữa, ta cô cắt cao mong cắt ca, pe cắt.
They just wanted to try and have us change it here.
To correct it here before you get there, that it make things more easier.
Right. So at this point, it's beginning to sound like my application was rejected. They don't want to mess with this passport that has a Thailand birthplace. And they want me to go to Phnom Penh because that's the main office for the Cambodian Identification. They gave us a phone number of someone to contact there. It just sounds like they can't do it here, which is kind of messed up because they took my $120 for my first application, and now they're sending me over to Phnom Penh. So the very next day, I bought a ticket to go back to Phnom Penh, and I'm here in Battambang waiting for the bus to arrive. It sounds like we're just gonna redo everything in Phnom Penh. because for some reason they can't or won't do it here. So we'll see. I'm here at the bus station now, waiting for my ride, which should be arriving in about 5 minutes. Okay, I'm back in Phnom Penh after spending almost 2 weeks out in Battambang, and you know what? It kind of feels good to be back in this city. There's something about this chaotic energy that I crave.
Say hi, Mom. Hello. Hello, Mother.
Hello, camera.
Hello.
And I'm back in Phnom Penh with Chanin, my uncle Chia, and La, his wife. They sent all the information, all the backstory over to Chanin, and she's going to be taking it from here now. She's been communicating with the contact here at the main branch, and she's going to be helping me for the rest of the way. When I was back in Battambang, I was feeling a little bit discouraged about what was happening, but once I got back to Phnom Penh and I met up with Chanin and Sokchea, I felt a renewed sense of positivity. I really felt like I was going to get it, that I was going to get my Khmer identification. Until I rolled up into the identification office, then I started having a panic attack. But once I got inside and met with our contact, which is a lady, I'll give you her name at the end here, she was very helpful. She held my hand through the entire process, told me what I needed to say to the other officers. She helped me fill out my application for the Cambodian Identification, and then she took me over to another station where they fingerprinted me and measured me and took a bunch of other information. And then they took me to a third station where they checked everything, including my passport. And that's when they stopped. They were like, wait a minute, you're born in Thailand. So they asked me about this. They asked my contact. They asked Chanin, who was standing right beside me. And then they took me into the back office. And we spoke to the head chief, the main guy. And he said that it doesn't matter where you're born. As long as your parents are Cambodian citizens, or as long as your parents are born in Cambodia, it doesn't matter where you're born. And he asked me a bunch of questions, very simple stuff like, why do I want this? What am I doing here? Blah, blah, blah. And he approved it. And then I went into the photo place, took my picture, told me to look at the ID, make sure everything's correct. I didn't know. I just went with it because I don't read Cambodian. And then they sent me out this slip. And now I'm here with my contact. She is collecting the money, the sum of $140 in order to expedite the process. And that's it. Now I wait for 3 days and hopefully nothing goes wrong. Okay, great news. I just got word that my Cambodian ID is ready and I'm here at the office to pick it up. Hopefully I can do my passport as well. I got it. And I just filled out my passport. So hopefully that's ready for me by tomorrow. Oh, man. What a relief that I finally got my Cambodian ID. That was a long process, and just filled out the passport, and that should be arriving tomorrow. But I wanted to fill in a little bit of information that was kind of missing. 3 days ago when I was meeting with the lady, I got the slip for my Cambodian ID. You basically give that slip to the contact. If you're not working with a contact, then you hold on to it, but that's basically what you use to pick it up. So the lady that was helping me, she took the payment for the ID and the slip, and then 3 days later she called me up, told me to come down to the Cambodian Identification office. She had it, so she was able to pick it up for me. I believe in some cases they'll actually deliver it to your house or wherever you're staying, but that office is right nearby, so it's quick and easy for me to get there anyway. From there we went across to the passport center, which is literally right across the building on the other side. And outside they have tables and people that can help, that actually will give you the paperwork to fill out for a passport. And the lady was talking to them, and was helping sort of get all the information that was needed. I did bring my Sabat Kamnad, and they were looking at that, and they looked at my passport, and after everything was filled out, they send the paperwork to the back room, and then you wait in line, and somebody comes out and brings you more paperwork or something like that, and you have to have, I think, around 15,000 real, which is less than $5. I think that's for the actual paperwork or a tip or something. I don't know. I know I ended up having to pay or give money to the guy at the window before you actually go into the passport office. And once you're inside, you go through, I think, 4 different little stations or desks. You get, I can't remember now. It's getting so foggy because there's so much going on. But you talk to a couple different people. You do have to be able to speak some Khmer because you're in there by yourself, and they ask you some really simple questions. Your occupation was the biggest one. They looked at my my moles on here, asking me if it was a pimple or mole, and you go through. I believe you get fingerprinted again. There's a lot of fingerprinting happening, and then they take your picture. They give you a slip, and then at the end you check out, and that's when you pay the big money. Now I paid $300 because I needed it, or I wanted it as fast as possible, and I believe $300 typically gets you or gets the passport to you in 2 days. I was told that it'll be ready by tomorrow, so we'll see. Hopefully it is, because I'm supposed to be going away soon, or trying to go away soon. But there it is. That's the process so far. I just gotta wait for my passport, and it's done. Well, I'm leaving Cambodia, and I did it, guys. I did it. I got my Cambodian passport. It was a long and difficult process, and I had a lot of help along the way, but I'm gonna recap the entire thing for you guys as soon as I get to the other side. Alright, as promised, I am gonna give you an entire recap of the process of getting my Cambodian passport and my Cambodian ID. But first I want to thank Bong Po. Bong Po, her real name is Nouv Sokchea. She was very instrumental in helping me get everything finished after having failed in Battambang. So I'm gonna leave her contact information down below. I actually was contacting her on Telegram, so I'll give you that information. And she only speaks Khmer, so if you're really serious about doing this, I would contact her first. She can answer everything more accurately, and for the most part, I believe she can do everything in Phnom Penh. So you don't have to do what I did and go all the way back to your province. At least that's what I heard. I'm not entirely sure. You have to check with her. So, starting with your birth certificate. Now, technically, you shouldn't need a birth certificate, but in my case, I actually went back to my uncle's province in Phnom Penh and had the May Poom help me out in acquiring a birth certificate. The second thing you need is a family book. You can have one made if you have your mom and dad with you, and you should technically be able to have one made yourself. But for some reason, I was put into my uncle's family book. Now, in case your parents aren't alive anymore or they can't go to Cambodia, that's the other option, is having family member with you that is in Cambodia kind of help you with the entire process. It'll make things a whole lot easier if you have someone that's of close relation vouch for you. So now that you have your birth certificate and your family book or residency book, with those 2 items, you can go to the main office in Phnom Penh, and that's where you're going to have your Tat Nyimban made. I would highly suggest you contact Bong Po here. She can really help you throughout the entire process. And I told her that I would send people her way if they were interested in doing the same thing that I did. Like I said, you do need to speak Khmer, so it's very important. If you don't, you're going to need someone that's by your side the entire time speaking for you. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Again, if you go straight to Bong Po at the main office, again, I'm going to keep flashing this. Also going to put the information down below. It's going to make this process probably a whole lot easier. So I would start with that. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them, but it's going to be different on a case-by-case basis. But this is for all the people that are kind of like in my situation, and you know, you're interested in doing the same thing. That's more or less the steps I took. I am now officially Cambodian, and you can be too. Anyway, that is the end of the video. If you enjoyed this content and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up to help with the algorithm. And if this video was helpful in any way, please consider donating to my beer fund by clicking on the Ko-fi link down below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.